Cassius, wait a minute. Weren't those Grey Knights in the Razorback supposed to be dead instantly because of the explosion with the new FAQ? So what you're thinking there is this. I'm going to read the part from the FAQ. The 40K FAQ, page 6 of the FAQ says, if a transport vehicle is destroyed in a movement phase in which it has moved flat out, what happens to any embarked models? As passengers may not disembark from a vehicle that has moved flat out in that movement phase, which is stated on page 70 of the rulebook. And the answer is they are removed as casualties. So, a couple key things there. Vehicle has to move flat out in order for that to happen. Since the Razorback didn't and can't move flat out, then it's impossible for that to have happened. I'm assuming that his Razorback can't move flat out because I don't think his Razorback is, fast. One of those vehicles I can. So that's what that means. Move flat out in movement phase. If you're shot at and the other person's shoot phase and it's destroyed, wrecked or destroyed, then all models are removed as casualties. So that sucks. Don't move flat out. Just kidding. Obviously you can still do it, but it's risky. Eura. Vindicators have 6+ feel no pain, by the way. Okay, so you second that. Waza 47. At 4 minutes and 45 seconds, Dave, you have to pop smoke at the end of the movement phase so you can't run after. Alright, so at your 4 minutes 45 seconds, I don't remember what part it was, but that's what your comment was. So this is what I have researched, okay? Warhammer 40K rulebook, page 62, under smoke launchers, says this. Once per game, after completing its move, a vehicle with smoke launchers can trigger them. And then later on, in the paragraph it says, after the enemy shooting phase, the smoke disperses. So, that's all it says in terms of the smoke launchers, that they are launched after the movement phase. Actually, no, I take that back. It says after completing its move. It doesn't say after the movement phase, which means at the end of the movement phase. At the end of that particular vehicle's movement, in fact, it pops smoke. It does not say anywhere that it cannot run after it, it's pop smoke. Doesn't say that anywhere. Even after running in the rulebook, it doesn't say that. So that would be one of those things where it's up to debate, because even in the FAQ, couldn't find it anywhere. So if that is spoken as law, it shouldn't be, because it's not crystal clear. And for those of you who are thinking that, well, you pop smoke instead of shooting, right? If you pop smoke, you can't shoot. And if the other argument is, if you run, you can't shoot. So why would you be able to pop smoke and run? Well, think of it this way. When you get a crew shake and crew stun result, are you able to pop smoke? And if the answer is yes, then, and if it's separate, then why aren't you able to run if you pop smoke? Just think about that for a second. They're different, right? All I'm saying is you can't say either way, all right? I might get flaming comments for this, but you're not arguing with me. You're arguing with the fact that they have not clarified. Anyway. Surly mob. Dave, you got cheated out of attack. Page 35. Working out which models are engaged in combat is done at the start of the fight. It will not change until its end. If I got cheated out of attack, then that was my fault for not catching it. Because it's up to me to defend my models as the overseer of the army. And disputably the demigod of the Blood Angels. Because I can... Eternal Shoebox. Why can the dreadnought thingy shoot a Melta into the Grey Knight Razorback, then into the squad afterwards? Is it a rule that the Blood Angels have? Nope. Did that wrong. You're not supposed to shoot at the... You can't do that. So, Gangrel 767, page 47 of the big rule book says independent characters get moved through cover. Shouldn't you have rolled 3 dice for the Reclusiarch? Absolutely. Yes. I didn't. I forgot. So let's remember that for next time. Because it's interesting. Because in the entry for the Reclusiarch it says independent character, right? But sometimes, depending on the type of model that it is, they get other rules attached that aren't included in the entry. So not always at the forefront of the mind, you know. Sometimes they're overlooked. Move through cover, that's under the independent characters, which is on page 47. Like, that's where it's stated, not in the codex, not under the entry. So that's why I forgot it, because, you know, something that I read once, maybe twice, and then I just didn't remember. So thanks for the reminder. I shall do that next time when I move my Reclusiarch, because he will move through cover again. No, this is Spongeman. This is not Spooge, the other guy. Dave, your Reclusiarch was involved in the fight with the Power Armored Knights. The squad is fearless because of the chaplain, so you didn't need to roll the leadership test, just the armor save. So page 42 of the Blood Angels Codex states this. The Reclusiarch has honor of the chapter, which makes the squad that he's a part of and himself fearless. So, yep, you're correct. You're right. So that's to my detriment, right? I forgot, and so that's my fault. Digilante. Actually, hold on. Digilante says, Dave, are you forgetting about your predators each movement phase? Shoot some last at the Land Raider already. There was one round where I forgot to shoot the last cannons at the Land Raider. And in the battle report itself, I mentioned that because I had forgotten in a previous video, wasn't able to defend myself, that I'm going to get flamed for it. So I did forget once, but not in subsequent turns. The very last turn I did because Joe. Yeah, so I forgot twice. I guess that comment is valid then. I forgot twice. That's a lot of shooting that could have been popping Land Raiders. But, so that's disputable, right? Because his Vindicare Assassin, he's got the AP1 weapon, would have wrecked my Predator, and that's something that he forgot. Then I forgot to shoot my Predators at his Land Raider for 2 rounds, so maybe that's another kill point it would have had. So for those of you who say, oh, the Vindicare Assassin Predator would have been wrecked, would have been a tied game, maybe it wouldn't have been if we both would have remembered what we had to do. Maybe his Land Raider would have been destroyed, I would have had another kill point, he would have killed my Predator, or I would have removed it, because that's what should have happened, so we would have had 1 more kill point each. He still would have got pie paid. I said pie plated, not pie paid. Then, well, I guess you do get paid with pie. So, Digilante again. Unfortunately, the assault rules don't let you charge around terrain. You would have to make that check. You would have had to make a check to get over the wrecked Razorback. That I agree with. Yep, you're right. Sometimes with the vehicles and the fact that they are terrain after the wrecked, isn't always obvious, because that's one of those things that you have to remember. It's not like, oh, it's terrain, because it looks like a vehicle and it's forgotten about. Especially in amongst the banter. It's like we're just talking about crap and going on tangents so much. Are we going to remember now terrain, wrecked vehicle? The chances of that slipping through the cracks is very high. So, but you're right. That's what we should have done. Zero says, allocate wounds. Okay. Darkenedlight@hotmail.com. Dave, why only 2 dice for the Sarge and Power Fist? He has 2 close combat weapons. Fist plus pistol. He gets 3 on the charge. He only has 2 base because he doesn't... If he had 2 Power Fists, then he would have 3, but he only has 2. Because he replaces his close combat weapon with the Power Fist. Okay? Yes. And he's got his bolt pistol, right? So that essentially makes 1 attack, and he gets 1 base, so he's all good. Zero. Psy 40K rulebook, page 72, moving walkers, paragraph 3, walkers take dangerous terrain tests, just normal vehicles. Yeah, so if they roll a 1, they get immobilized. You're correct. Because it says so in the rulebook, so I can't deny that, right? Ruler of Chaos says, go to ground. You never know when you can make a 6+ cover save. As a ruler of chaos, why would you ever go to ground and submit to defeat like that? I don't think I've ever gone to ground once. I'd rather be killed than go to ground. I'm not lying. Although it's a rule that probably should be used more often. It's just not remembered because people don't like going to ground. Because they don't like being taunted by the other player to, you know, do all that stuff. So, darkened light at hotmail.com. Dave, the autocannons could have hurt the Land Raider because, if I'm not mistaken, they has rending. You're thinking of assault cannons there. Assault cannons have rending, not autocannons. Darkened light at hotmail.com. You said a lot of things here in these comments, and you were wrong on a lot of them, my friend. So you need to be careful. So you just gotta be careful. I have no idea who you are. I mean, when your name's Dark and Light, it could be anybody. So it could be somebody. It could be Matt in the next room. He creates a false user account, and he's just throwing out rules there that he's wrong on purposely, just to get a rise out of me. That's probably not the case. You're getting them wrong though, so you gotta be careful. I say that as a chaotic friend. Kaika, 87. Dave, this bat rep was lots of fun to watch, but I feel I need to help you. One Blood Angel player to another. The Furioso does not get its extra attacks for unsaved wounds if it has lost 1 Blood Talon. That's right. I don't remember not doing that. I don't recall doing that in the video. If it appears that it was that way, then that's wrong. And if I was acting like it wasn't the case, that was acting. Because he was saying something to me, and I was saying, nope, that's not the case. I was being silly purposely. So when I say that, I guess I leave myself open to people correcting when I say ridiculousness and it looks like I'm being serious. Because sometimes it's hard to tell. Because from the 100% of the time when it looks like I'm joking 100% of the time, and when I say things that are true and that are false, then it looks like the things that I'm saying that are false are actually true. When they're not, I'm saying them falsely, purposely, to bug the other guy. So that's one of those things that was misinterpreted, and it made it look like I thought that if one of the Blood Talons was destroyed, that he would still get his extra attacks. That is absolutely incorrect. If one's destroyed, he doesn't get the extra rerolls. So, or extra attacks, not rerolls. Attacks. Franken, his reasoning for weapon destroy result is wrong. If you destroy a weapon, you destroy a weapon, not an arm. So you couldn't have removed either the Blood Talon or the Melta. It didn't go through because of range, but still, it's faulty reasoning. So this is the last thing that we're going to talk about here. This is what the rule book says, and this is what the Blood Angel Codex says. Okay, and then we'll discuss it a little bit. Page 61 of the rule book, under weapon destroyed result. One of the vehicle's weapons is destroyed, chosen by the attacker. Key words or phrase there being one of the vehicle's weapons. One. Okay? Now, page 85 of the Blood Angel's Codex says, and this is under the Furioso Dreadnought War Gear, it says, Blood Fist with built-in Stormbolter. Okay? That's what it says. So it's a Blood Fist with a built-in Stormbolter. Okay? But it's entered as one entry. There's a comma before that and a comma after that, with other war gear on the other sides. And so it's entered in as one entry. And so although, if you think about it in real life, if it actually was created, it's 2 weapons, because you use one in the shooting phase and you use one in the assault phase. But if you get a weapon destroyed, if something is shooting at the dreadnought and it gets a weapon destroyed and it takes off the arm, it's going to take off the built-in weapon attached to the arm, because it's all like, just imagine getting shot with a las cannon. Is your hand going to be destroyed, but like the Stormbolter hanging, is it going to still be there? Probably not. So, and this this is one of those things also that it's not clarified, but it's one of those rules as intended scenarios. So I would say that everything is destroyed. And so I agree with him when he says that. I wasn't sure at the time, and so I challenged it purposely. But because it wasn't, you know, it didn't even matter because he wasn't in range to actually hit me, we dropped it. But it doesn't say either way. So, but I would rule in favor of both things gone because it's attached to the one arm, and it's one entry in the war gear. So those are my thoughts on it. This has been a really long video, and that's okay because a lot of things have been learned on both sides. And the most important thing that we can learn is that when you play a game against somebody who is your doppelganger, you tend to think that when stuff is being said, it's being said by you all the time. And you're essentially battling with yourself. I was going to say an evil version of yourself, but I don't really consider myself evil, per se. And he's not evil. Although, sometimes when we laugh at the other player because they fail their rules, that's a little bit evil. So, it's kind of turned more into a vlog video. I didn't realize that it was going to be this long. So, I'm going to stop the video here. I thank you very much for leaving your comments. We learn a lot from the rules we get wrong, or the rules you think you get wrong. And please leave more comments on subsequent battle reports, whether you think you're right or not, whether you're confident in your answer or not, because it makes for good content. It really does. It's very controversial when you say things that are absolutely incorrect, because it makes a good topic of conversation, especially when you're talking to yourself, looking at a camera, where thousands of people will listen to you afterwards and not be able to talk back in real time, but in comments on subsequent videos. I'm just rambling now because it's been so long. Like, what's the time? 37 minutes. That's 3, 2, 1. 37 minutes. That's how long this video is. Goodness. Are you actually sitting down and listening to the whole video? Or are you painting at the same time? You gotta wonder. So, I don't know. Maybe if you are watching it, then you don't mind that I keep on rambling. I really should have ended this. I will end it now. We don't want it to go past longer than it's needed because it should have been 10 minutes. I went an extra 27 minutes overtime. And it's gonna take a long time to upload. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.